We're live. Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome to Cutz Inside Champions League review. My name's Mo, and I'm here with a star-studded panel. We'll start first to my left, the one and only man like Stano. How's it going, bro? What are you saying?
All good, brother. Just getting ready to talk about what happened during the week and mainly talk about what happened between Liverpool and Galatasaray.
Oh, okay. Also, my guy, what are you saying? How's it going, lad?
Yes, boys. Pleasure to be here. Chelsea win, Liverpool lost. Can't wait to get into it.
Oh, God. I know we're going to get grilled today, especially the next person I'm going to introduce. From Sport Uncensored, we've got a very special guest today, an absolute star. Man like Yaz, what are you telling me, broski?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm just here to soak in, the downfall of Liverpool and just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Lad, Yossi, we've got a long day ahead of us today.
Got a long day, man. Don't worry already.
Every single one of these.
We've got to back our team, but we have to be open and honest as well. They have a
100%. We've got to be open and honest.
Conversation.
And do you know what we're gonna do, Mohammed? We're gonna discuss what me and you have been talking about. If it's starting to sound true.
Well, look, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about everything. I think let's start off with a little bit on the defense from our side. I'm gonna start with Yossi. I'm gonna let Yossi break down the match for us from a Liverpool perspective, and then after that, I'll come in, and then you guys like hyenas can just go in all full on the attack. How does that sound? Yeah.
Sounds
so,
good.
Yossi, first match of the day that we're gonna discuss. Obviously, big defeat. Galatasaray 1, Liverpool 0. Absolutely hostile atmosphere. I must say, Liverpool didn't look good at all throughout that match. I think first half, I didn't hate the first half. Second half was abysmal. What were your thoughts on the match, bro?
Me, yeah. So I needed Slot to make some changes. I watched an interview with him with Ali McCoy's TNT, and he said basically what he learned from last season to this season was that he needs to trust the squad more. And last season, he played the same 13, 14, 15 players. And then when it got to March, just nosedived, you know what I mean? Lucky that we had that little bit of a lead in the Premier League, that it wasn't really a title race. It was kind of a foregone conclusion. And the season kind of finished for us in April or March, and we don't want that to happen this season. So against Galatasaray, I see Mo Salah, people say he got dropped. No, it's just rotation, freshening up the squad. And I was Frimpong on the right wing and Szoboszlai right back. I was a bit, I don't know what he's trying to cook there. If you don't trust the right back, don't play him. You know what I mean? You got to trust one of them at least at once, either Frimpong or Bradley. But as the game kicked off, I could just see that, the atmosphere, the lads win. Every time it was a stop-start, the referee was using the whistle too much. Every time we were trying to gain momentum, they'd clip us or foul us. We had a good couple of openings at the start with Cody Gakpo and that Wirtz pass into Frimpong as well. So we started brightly, but it's just Szoboszlai. I thought it was soft. You don't see that in the Premier League, do you? Like, okay, I get he's hit him in the face, but I don't think I've ever seen a penalty given like that in our league. Penalty like that, that's madness.
There's no PGMO. That's why, bro.
It's in Europe, okay. So the bar's a little bit lower for handballs and certain fouls. So I get it. I get why he's give it, but we still got 60 minutes to make it right. You know what I mean? And we just never had an impact. All I can say is really bad performances from Konate, really bad performance from Frimpong, really bad performance from Kirkes, really bad performances from. I don't think Ekitike was too bright apart from the first half. I think Wirtz, I know people try to get onto him and people need to see a bit more of the £150 million. I'm not trying to hide away from that. Of course we need to see something, but I don't think he's as bad as what everyone is making out. I think he had some little touches and some passes, and if it wasn't for some bad finishing, then he would have had already a couple of assists now. Is he immune to criticism? Of course not. He's a £150 million player. He was meant to be the guy that's going to make us tick. He was meant to be the guy that's going to throw either needle passes, even though in the second half he did one to Isak. But we're seeing flashes of it. We just need a little bit more consistency. So that's my points on it. And also, last year we won 7 out of our first 7 Champions League games, and we lost our last one because we threw it away to, I think, PSV Eindhoven. We finished top and we got PSG and knocked us out in the last 16. Whatever you say about the league phase, if you win your home games, which is 4, you win 2 away games, you're in the top 8. So you can afford. You obviously don't want to lose games. You can afford to lose a game or 2. And do you know what? Galatasaray away in Istanbul is a banana skin, and it showed that.
You know what? That's a very good summary. In my opinion, I think you got a good last games together. Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. For me, the most important one that we lost was obviously Crystal Palace. Against Crystal Palace, I don't think we looked good at all in that first half.
You know, there was a stat, Mo, that I heard Jamie Carragher say, and Crystal Palace created 7 big chances in the first half. That's the highest big chances created
all season
from any team.
Yeah, it was. And the thing is, Yusuf, both me and you watch every Liverpool game. We've seen the performances so far this season, and they have been a bit shoddy. We haven't seen a rip-roaring Liverpool team all season. Like, we scraped over the line with last-minute winners. But I always had the impression, well, beginning of the season, if we're getting points on the board, the performances will work out for themselves. But the last 2 games have just been diabolical and disgusting. Yaz, as an Arsenal fan, and obviously our main competitors for the Premier League, does that inspire you with any confidence, the last 2 performances Liverpool have shown?
But I've been saying to you since the beginning of the season, actually. The first game against was it Bournemouth, was it?
Yeah, just with the cameras.
I don't know what's going on, bro. Sorry.
Yeah,
is it better? Yeah, I was saying to you, the first game, Bournemouth, that game gave me a lot of confidence because I saw something in your defense that I didn't really see last season. They were very, very soft. They had a very soft underbelly, and for me, it's carried on all the way up until Galatasaray, and it's really only kind of caught you out the last 2 games. Before that, you were kind of, I mean, your attack is what it is, right? It's a really good attack when it fires, and it generally will get you out of most pickles. But the game that the attack doesn't go at 100% is the games that you're going to get unstuck if you carry on with the sort of the weird defensive things that you're doing. So yeah, I definitely take so I'm inspired by it, and I'm very, very glad to see, actually, because I feel like you guys are finally getting what you deserve in the performances that you're giving out. And that's not to be a hater. The truth is, other than the maybe the first half of Everton game, which is quite impressive, the rest of those games could have really gone either way.
I mean, you're not wrong. But at the same time, I would say I haven't really been that inspired by Arsenal, but we'll come to that in the Arsenal section.
Listen, man.
No. We'll come to Arsenal in the Arsenal section. We'll stick to Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah.
You made some valid points in regards to our defense not looking as strong as it did this time last season. But I've viewed it as...
Can I say what I think it is, bruv?
Well, let me tell you what I think it is. I think, Konate individual performances has been absolutely shocking. Kerkez has not run up to speed yet. And I don't think Slot trusts either of his right backs. That's why he's playing an attacking mid at right back instead. And on top of that, with those poor performances at the back, with the confidence low, there's zero protection for the defense. Like, we're losing balls in sloppy areas consistently from the midfield with short passes that are going astray, that are leading on to counter-attacks. We got counter-attack so many times against Crystal Palace and a number of occasions against Galatasaray. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got prime Virgil van Dijk next to prime, I don't know, John Terry. If you're going to get counter-attack consistently, there's going to be chances. There's going to be opposition.
I agree.
And I agree. You also mentioned our attack. We've got a very strong, powerful attack that could score a lot of goals, outscore teams. And it has been the case this season. But what I've noticed this season so far is we're not getting the ball to the attack. Isaac had 4 touches when he came onto the pitch against Galatasaray.
Can I just come in there and think, if you look at Liverpool and you watch that Galatasaray game, Liverpool have an issue of progressing the ball through the field. And it starts from as soon as the ball goes to the right-hand side of the pitch, because there is no right back currently in your squad. The ball gets lost somewhere in between there, and then you just get hit on a quick break. It's not even a quick break, it's a quick transition, and the ball's turned over and it's gone again. Do you think maybe not having a right back, and maybe what Trent was doing all them years with bypassing the whole midfield and getting the ball into Nunes, Salah, whoever it might have been, do you think that's something you're also missing? Because right now I don't see a team that can progress the ball right through the field and then go into the other team's half and create some sort of...
Undoubtedly, we're missing Trent's passing ability. But if I'm being honest,
world football would miss his ability, though. Like,
yeah, of course. But like,
do Do you know what the problem is? Yeah, it's like you said, yeah, that anyone would miss his because he's a sensational passer, right? So with all the rival fans have sort of dug him out for his defense, but he's going forward. He's unrivaled, right? And so if you don't have him, you need to have somebody that collects the ball from the defense and connects the midfield and the defense and the attack. And for me, that's McAllister, right? McAllister, in my personal opinion, as an outside fan and as a rival and as a hater, he's your best midfielder. I'll be honest with you. I really, really like Gravenberch. That's not to sort of... Yeah, it's fine. It's true, but I feel like sometimes you have to let these type of players play their way into form because he's so vital for your team. You can't afford for him not to be good for the whole season because he's the one that connects everything.
100%.
Can he play with Florian Wirtz is my biggest worry. Not a worry, but question.
We're going to get the flow. But like what you said in regards to Trent, I'm just going to caveat this by saying last season, our best period of performances and results was when Trent was injured. So make of that as you will, I would say.
But who was playing well though? McAllister.
The whole team was playing well. But yeah.
Well, no, I'm not obviously not. I'm sure not individually, but I'm saying he was playing at a really high level.
McAllister is the glue to this Liverpool team, but right now McAllister is performing really, really badly. He has been completely off the pace throughout the whole season. Like he's been shocking. Like he's really bad, and that's worrying. But like I think he in the midfield three that you had last season will become the automatic one to drop because Gravenberch is obviously the dynamic, technically gifted young sort of superstar in the making, if you will. Florian Wirtz is, the British record midfielder, so he has to play. And then you've got, if you have Florian Wirtz, you have to play Szoboszlai because Szoboszlai is the legs. So it's a little bit, it's a bit of a sort of a dilemma for Arne Slot.
And also, like, even though McAllister and Salah and Isak never played against Galatasaray, they'll come straight back in for the game against Chelsea. It's a squad game, and it's all about getting through these matches. And what I took from Slot was that he wants to be there or thereabouts February, March, and that's when you need to peak. You don't really need to, like I'm saying, you want to win games, but Galatasaray.
No, I agree.
It's 0 there. We finish top 8. We win our home games. We go away to Frankfurt. We go away into maybe a tough game and try and get something. And we finish in the top 8.
It's not a concern whether Liverpool are going to make it out to group phase. It's a matter of so far you've played 9 games and none of them games have been convincing. So it's not 100%. I
understand, but
it doesn't matter.
I mean, look, I just don't think Liverpool know what their best midfield is because realistically,
I know. I'm going to pose this question here because I agree with Lisa's point in regards to rotation. And AJ's posted in the chat. Let me just put that on the screen. Yeah. So AJ says, you say it's rotation, then he drops Salah. If that's what you mean, if that's what you want to run, do you reckon Slot got it wrong then? So Stano, Yusuf saying that last season, Slot learned that, well, in the business part of the season when we played against PSG and we played against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final, we couldn't get over the line because the players were knackered and we've seen a dip in performances. Yusuf saying that this season he's doing a lot more rotation at this time of year so that we've got the legs when it comes to February or March. Where do you stand? Do you think he's getting it wrong right now, or do you think it's going to benefit us in the long term?
No, I think it is going to benefit you in the long term because you can't just consistently keep playing the same players over and over again. Ancelotti was famous for that at Real Madrid. Consistently played the same starting 11, and by the time it hit February, March, teams were just crashing out. You know what I mean? But what I would also say, I just don't think Liverpool know what their best midfield is because realistically, if you look at McAllister, Gravenberch, and Wirtz, you can't realistically play together because when Wirtz was at Leverkusen, he almost had like a free role drifting out wide, playing in a 10. You can't do that with McAllister and just Gravenberch behind you. There just isn't the legs in midfield.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. But I was going to ask you, as a Liverpool fan, I've never seen my team purchase or buy £100 million player. Never mind 2 of them. But as a Chelsea fan, you've experienced this. You've experienced your team buy 2 £100 million players in relatively the same period. I know they were like 6 months apart, January and the summer.
And but how you got criticised as well.
Yeah, you got criticised for it, but we've also been criticised for it right now, to be fair. Mm-hmm. But like, how what was the like implementation of those two players into the team? How was it? How did they get into the team? Give us some advice on how we can possibly fit in Wirtz into the midfield and Isaac and potentially even Ekitike.
I think Isaac is not a concern at the moment. I think it's a fitness issue with him. He hasn't played for a long time. But I think when Liverpool initially got Wirtz and they wanted a new midfield, they already got Gravenberg, performing, and McAllister, and they just wanted an attacking midfielder. So on paper, Liverpool created with their midfield should be a perfect midfield. So, but what Chelsea done is Chelsea signed a CD, central defensive midfielder who's Chelsea are renowned to having CDMs like SCM, Kalele, Kante, Matic, and then they bought Enzo, who's currently under fire a bit as well because of his price tag. And I think what Chelsea done is they sorted out the CDM, which is the most important position in my opinion in football. And after that, with Enzo, he's more of an attacking midfielder who's maybe contributing goals and assists. But with Wirtz, I just haven't seen enough of him, even when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, to know what type of role of midfielder he is. Maybe he is a 10 who's going to get you goals and assists, but I haven't seen that. Mm-hmm. He's not a CM. Is he a centre midfielder? Is he a Rodri sort of midfielder? So that's the only concern with me with Wirtz. I just don't really know what type of player he is. Liverpool even tried to fit him in as a left winger and has maybe drift in and cut inside. But I just maybe you've probably seen him a lot more than me, but I just don't know where his favourite position is.
He's in number 10. He plays behind the striker. So if it's Ekitike, he's off the shoulder. But Ekitike can play off that as well. So it's like we've signed players that can play multiple positions all across the front line. You've got Gakpo who can play in the 9, who can play off the left wing. You've got Ekitike who can play in the 9, play off the left wing. Isak can play in the 9 in the left wing. Ekitike can play in the 10. Wirtz can play in the 10 and left wing. Szoboszlai can play in the 10. So all of these players.
Don't you think you need a bit of consistency though? Yeah, I heard. Don't you think you need some sort of consistency with players? These are the players that are starting. For years that Firmino, Mane and Salah are starting. Probably know Fabinho is going to start, Henderson and someone else. Like, you not need a team that gels, that knows they're going to play and knows their role and knows their positions week in, week out. For example, the last few minutes of that Galatasaray game, Wirtz was left wing, wasn't he? Yeah. And sort of got a cross in and Bradley missed it, and you think, what is going on? Where's the positional play? Maybe that's why players lose the ball in same position. Maybe that's why they get counted. That's why there's a lot of transitions.
What you're saying is that basically that they just haven't clicked. They're all learning each other's games. They're all trying to figure out what's the best way to put them in. But right now we're seeing the indecisiveness that you're talking about. But there's going to be a time where it is going to click. They're just too good for it not to click. You know what I mean? So whether it's in November or December, there's going to be a time where the machine starts. And right now, I'm not like, obviously I don't want to lose games, but I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram because we've lost the game against Crystal Palace, which was diabolical, and the game against Galatasaray. When the pressure comes is we lose to Chelsea on Saturday. And that's the first time in Slot's career where he's lost 3 back-to-back games. Yeah. And if he wins on Saturday against Chelsea, bringing the players back in, then I go, and I can see what you're doing. Do you get me?
I love that, Yusuf. That's a perfect way to put it. Like, to be honest, I'm going to put this comment up and say, look, lads, Slot won the league in his first season. He's clearly a good manager, and I'm sure he's going to find the tools.
Yes, but it's not really his team. This is a team that he's got now. So what has he done with his team so far? Obviously, it's only early days, and Liverpool might go on to win a trophy or win a Champions League or a Premier League. But so far, I just haven't seen. Right now, there's 2 right backs on the bench, and none of them are starting, and a midfielder starting right back. I think it's getting put left wing. Like, I don't know what's.
Also, one thing I preached was we're going to need patience because you don't buy 5 new first team players and expect them to gel instantaneously.
But Mo, when you win the league,
the question is,
I understand, but I think we're going a little bit over the top and we're over exaggerating because we are still technically first in the league. Well, not even
yeah.
So I'm going to come to Yaz. I'm going to go.
Sorry, 1 second, bro. The question is, right?
Yeah, go on.
In an ideal world, obviously, you'd say Liverpool, you give them patience because they've got 5 new players. All of them, maybe not starters, but most of them, right? We've had a very difficult first start to the season, I'd say, as Arsenal, right? You guys are going into a period now where the games are a bit more difficult than the ones you had before, I would say. And we're going into a far more winnable group of games. So, like, you can wait and you can have patience, but there is a possibility where you drop a few points and we potentially win all 5. That now you're trailing, and all of a sudden you're no longer sort of the chaser. Now you're the chaser, and then how do these new players react to that? But Mo Salah just done it, been there, done it twice. He's won it, but he's been in a chase, especially with Man City, many years. So he's not going to be new to it. And most of the other players, I would say so too. But these new players, how are they going to react?
I mean, you're right, Yaz, but like last season and the season before, Arsenal's biggest issue was losing games or drawing games against the likes of West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace.
100%, you're right. You're right.
With that, I wanted to quickly come to Stano before we introduce our 6th guest, a big guest as well. I wanted to come to Stano and pose this question to him from Mohammed. It says, this is where Slot will show me if he is a Luis Enrique who can play football, or a Carlo Ancelotti where he relies on individual brilliance. As a Real Madrid fan last season, you guys had the overhaul in your team. You signed all the superstars. Well, you signed Mbappe, the biggest player, the best player in the world. And then it kind of offset the rhythm of the Champions League. So I wanted you, Stano, to tell us as Liverpool fans, do you think a similar thing will happen to us? Or where do you see we can implement all these players, all these star players that we've signed over the summer and our original players into a cohesive team?
But then there's one thing that I just want to start off by saying, this whole notion that Ancelotti doesn't really have any tactics or it's just, go out there and play. That's the biggest fallacy ever. It's like you can't go out there and win 5-6 Champions Leagues, countless league titles and say, well, he's just a good manager. It's insane. Like maybe he might not be micromanaging every single player like a Pep or a Jose does, but doesn't mean that he's not like we don't set up in specific ways and players don't have specific instructions and whatnot. And just to touch on like the fact that we signed all these players, especially Mbappe, which is like the main one. It's just the first season, him, Jude and Vinny just wasn't clicking. There was such an overload on the left-hand side. And then you also had someone like a Rodrigo, who's naturally a left winger as well, shifting over. And things just weren't clicking. And then you've got to take into consideration there was injuries and whatnot as well. So it was a difficult first season. But I just think now, especially this season, the way Mbappe started, he's unbelievable. He's the best player in the world. Like, the things that he's doing on a game-to-game basis, it is ridiculous. He scored, a hat-trick? A week before that, he scored. Game before that,
we're going to go to Real Madrid. We're going to go to horses. Yeah, hold your horses. I'm going to come to you a bit about Real Madrid. We're going to quickly try and wrap up on Liverpool. I know that the professor's here. You haven't got your camera on, Professor, but if you could put your camera on, put your mic on, and hopefully you can give us your final remarks on, just tell us what you think of Liverpool so far this season, the results against Galatasaray, unfortunate performance. Well, from my perspective, it was unfortunate. It's probably fortunate from your perspective. Chat to me, Mr. HAMZA, the Professor. Welcome to Cutz Inside.
Thank you, lads. How you doing? Hope you're doing good, man. I'm just my friend here. Listen, as a City fan, to me, obviously, I was hurt how Liverpool were into the transfer window. I think they had a fantastic window. I before the transfer window, my uncle's a Bournemouth fan, and he travels as a Bournemouth season ticket holder. He said to me, this guy at Bournemouth, director guy, whatever his name is, Richard something. I don't know, Richard Hughes or something. He said he's going to Liverpool, and let's see what he's going to do, but be careful of this guy. I said, get out of here, man. The guy's at Bournemouth. Why is he going to scare me? And then I see Liverpool going for a PK. I was like, oh, man. And then I saw words. First words, I had rumors around January that Liverpool linked with a guy from Man City was telling me on Twitter. And I was like, nah, bullshit. And he was like, listen, I know Frimpong. And Frimpong told me that Wirtz is considering Liverpool first. I said, Liverpool don't have a pool. Get out of here, man. Liverpool is rejected by Caicedo and all that stuff. And we're used to that. And I'm like, no way Liverpool ever beat me to that deal. No way. And if Wirtz does that, he's a loser. No way. There's no way I believe that Wirtz was going to Liverpool. So Liverpool pulling Wirtz. Like, I was triggered, especially how people sold me the dream. Oh, he's shopping. He was seen at Manchester. I was thinking, hold on. And then I went on to do this dancing move in, like, thinking that I got Wirtz. Oh, my God. And especially Wirtz. It's the KDB. I want the
Professor.
KDB, man.
Professor, I think you need to put a little bit of respect. Look at my background. You're talking to the biggest team in the whole of England. We can pull any player that we want. But Professor, you made some valid players that we signed over the summer. Well-renowned. Everybody wants them. Man City wanted Vert. Isaac was wanted across the league. Like, we've signed really good players, and it's only a matter of time before they click. I'm going to quickly come to Yusuf before we close off on Liverpool. And it's a question from Ibrahim, and it's saying, definitely think Vert should hold bench for a bit. Szoboszlai has to be in midfield starting. So against Chelsea, is that what you're expecting? Do you expect Liverpool to put Vert on the bench and start with Szoboszlai?
I hate this terminology, hold bench, drop. I want to go back to rotation. He's had his fair few minutes. Okay, he's played his minutes, whatever. Let's take him out the team for a little bit. I don't mind that. But this whole let him hold bench, I hope that's a positive thing, but not a negative thing. You get me? He's not getting dropped. Like Salah never got dropped the other day, or McAllister never got dropped the week before that. Know what I mean? 100%. So I think he should go back to Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai midfield, play Bradley, keep Frimpong and Vert on the bench. Start with Isak and go with Gakpo off the left.
Yeah,
that's what
I think.
I'll put Wayne Robertson in for Kirkesh, and obviously Mamardashvili has to play because Alisson's injured. That would be my team.
Yeah, I think go back to basics. But lads, this is a Champions League review. We've spoke for almost 30 minutes about Liverpool only. I think we're going to go on to the next section. I'm going to bring up this comment because, you know, Arsenal fans, they get ahead of themselves. And Mohamed here says, hey man, this might be the year we win it. Come on, you Gunners. I don't know what it is of Arsenal fans. They need sometimes tranquilo. I don't know about you, Yaz. Do you know what? I already know about you, Yaz. You're probably already planning your parade. You got your outfit.
No. I want to be 100% honest with you, bro.
Well, I want you to chat to me about, like, well, respectfully, against Newcastle, you played really well. Finally took the handbrake off. You got 2 goals, albeit from set pieces. But you know what? Set pieces is a goal, and I wish my club could do the exact same thing because then we wouldn't.
I appreciate it. Thank you for being honest, bro.
No, 100%. Konate should have scored one against Olympia. What's it called? Galatasaray, and one against.
Konate is the one that. So, I know we're talking about, but Konate is the one that baffles me. The guy is massive. He jumps like an NBA player, but he never scores headers. I don't get it, man.
And it's not just him.
And he can't be beat.
Can't do that one.
Defensively, you can't beat him in the air, but offensively, apparently you can.
He's got a 50p head. Honestly, he's got a 50p head.
Don't get it, bro.
But let's go to Arsenal's very impressive victory against Olympiacos.
Ah, mate, I wouldn't go as far as saying it was impressive. It was tougher than it needed to be. That's what it was.
That's why you're here, because I didn't watch that game. I watched PSG versus Barcelona. But that's why you're here. Break the match down for us. From what I've seen on discourse and on Twitter and what I've seen from the highlights, it looked like Odegaard finally found some form and he played really well. It looked like Gyökeres had performed a lot better than he has in previous games. The play was really good. He was very physical, very strong. And Declan Rice absolutely balled out. But chat to me, what did you see from the game and your thoughts on Arsenal in this Champions League so far?
I think a team like Arsenal, much like how Inter have done in the last few years, will almost always go far in the Champions League because of the defensive solidity, right? And what we've obviously done this year is we've worked to shore up our attack. And in the Olympiacos game, I must say, probably I'd say the first maybe 20 or so minutes we bopped them off the park. Absolute complete domination it was. But they always had like a little bit of a threat, and they had a right back, I think his name was Costinha, and he was throwing in some sensational balls into the box. Raya had to make a sort of a worldie of a save actually at 1-0. There was a few shaky moments when they done sort of a couple of counter-attacks on us, but I think for the most part we had that game under control, and it was really poor finishing from Trossard especially that let us down, and some really bad decision making as well.
I mean, yeah, like, to be fair, Arsenal Champions League so far, they've scored 4 goals and they haven't conceded a single goal.
That's the most impressive thing with them, innit? Arsenal, I think keeping a clean sheet is one of the hardest things to do in football, and these do it week in, week out. I think they've conceded only 3 goals in the Premier League and none in the Champions League. To Liverpool's 8, I think, or 7 in the Premier League they conceded. So I think they've got the best defence in there. It's not just the best defence in the league; they're also quite efficient going forward. I thought against in the Champions League, who are they playing against? Sorry,
the first game.
the first half, they created a lot of chances. I think Gyökeres could probably score 2 or 3. He was getting in behind. He actually showed a bit of pace and strength. So I thought, you know what? He showed us something here. I know the guy played really well, but I think Arsenal, they have been the most impressive, the most solid team in the Premier League so far, and that's why you can never really write them off for the Premier League, especially if Liverpool continue to be conceding goals and then keeping goals out. So I think Arsenal were quite impressive in the Champions League game the other day.
Yes,
Do you know what it is? I think a lot has been made about, and rightly so, they're needing to gel and stuff for Liverpool. I think maybe not all of it, but some of it can be said about Arsenal. So we've got obviously Zubimendi, who's a new player, who's he's playing well, but he's not fully found his feet in our midfield yet. And Gyökeres the guy at the beginning of the season, he looked like he was carrying a bloody backpack. The guy looks so heavy and so slow, and slowly he's playing his way into form. You can see his touches are getting better, his movement's better. He's just missing maybe a yard of pace that he maybe had last season that would allow him to get away from defenders and sort of get away a shot. But I mean, yeah, I'm quite happy with Gyökeres at the moment. If he continues to not score goals, then that might change. But he's obviously playing himself into fitness, and he's improved massively from week 1, where he's looking like a passenger in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Stano, you got to give them the same amount of leeway as you're giving Liverpool. To be fair, like, we're trying to find our feet, but Arsenal are trying to find their feet as well. They've signed a lot of new players that they're trying to implement, but they're implementing on the base of a very solid defense. And I think in the Champions League, if you've got a team that's very difficult to score against, I think you can go quite far. As a Real Madrid fan, you've experienced Real Madrid. Well, you haven't personally experienced win all 15, but you've experienced the win a majority of those 15. Do you think Arsenal can go quite far in the Champions League this season?
I think Arsenal are one of the favourites, to be fair. They're so hard to score against. But I just think, like when you said that Arsenal have made a lot of new signings and whatnot, their core's still the same in general when you think about it. It's like, obviously they've had the Zubimendi and Gyökeres, they're the 2 main ones, but the back four's pretty much similar. Midfield's pretty much similar outside the Zubimendi and whatnot. But I just think Arsenal their best trait is the fact that they're just so difficult to score against. They just got athletes in near enough every single position, so they make it difficult for you. And then obviously they're Stoke City in disguise with the set pieces and whatnot. Putting murals up of set piece coaches. I've never seen anything like that.
That was a cheap thing, man.
But honestly, though, like Arsenal, I think Arsenal are a legitimate threat. I'd say if I had to pick 3 teams that I'd say, what's between them, I'd say probably Arsenal, PSG. Arsenal, PSG, Madrid probably.
Fair enough. I think Yusuf.
Man, I would replace Madrid for Inter Milan personally. Me.
Inter Milan, brother. There's no way Madrid are losing by 5 in a final. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Madrid are not a serious team. Madrid are not a serious team, bro.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. How many did they concede against Barca in that semi-final? What, 8 goals?
How many did they score?
Yeah, they scored, but a lot of goals.
It's true. No, you're right. But I think apart from the last 2 games of obviously, or the last 3 games, should I say, of their Champions League campaign, they were very, very solid. Very solid. Yeah, they just, for whatever reason, decided to go a different way, and they just were not capable of doing that. But Inter Milan, I think the problem I have with Real Madrid is, and as Barcelona as well, is that defense is so bad.
Yeah, I can't sit here and say that Madrid is solid at the back because we just haven't been this season really. But if I look at a team like Inter Milan, I just think to myself they're an early team. They'll get to a final, lose, or they'll get to a semi-final, get really close, and then there's just one, somehow they end up losing. You know what I mean? I view Inter as an early team, really. So I don't see them winning.
You could call Arsenal the same thing, a nearly team. You can beat Olympiacos 2-0. It was a run-of-the-mill, normal victory. Okay, it was a bit shaky. The goalkeeper gave you one at the end, Saka, when it went through him. They scored a goal, but it was offside. But more often than not, most of the time it was going Arsenal's way. They played the best. It was an easy 3 points in the end. But Arsenal have got this squad. They've got 2 players for every single position, so they're primed and ready for each competition. They've got the rotation I'm talking about. If it's not Calafiori, it's Luis Skelly. If it's not Saliba, it's this guy they got from Valencia. What's his name?
Mosquera.
The right back, they're changing Ben White and they're changing someone. Who was it? Timber. Midfielder, they got Zubimendi, Rice.
But with the Neely thing, right? It's obviously
what it is, Yaz, is I've seen this before. I've seen October Arsenal before. I've seen November Arsenal before. I've even seen December Arsenal before. I want to see March, April, May Arsenal. That's what I want to see.
Me too. But you know what it is with the Neely thing, right? Obviously, we're throwing cheap jabs at each other. I'm not gonna participate. But if you're asking me who, for example, would I trust to win a Champions League final?
You got a great squad. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree. But I'm saying if you said to me who would I trust to win a Champions League final between, let's say, Inter Milan and Arsenal, and then the Real Madrid and Liverpool's of the world, I would 100% go with you guys because you guys have the experience, you have the know-how. What I'm saying is you got both of your teams, in my estimation, what I think, it's obviously game. This sort of a whole game is a game of opinions. I don't think either of you have the defensive solidity to get to a Champions League final.
Yeah, I mean,
if you do get there, that's a different story. You're most likely going to win it, but I don't think you will because of your defense.
I'm going to come to you at the end, and I'm going to ask you who you think is going to make it to the Champions League final. But I want to go to the Professor. Professor, the lads just quickly talked about who is like the favourites to get to the Champions League final or who could win the Champions League. They mentioned Real Madrid, they mentioned Inter Milan, they mentioned Arsenal, they mentioned PSG. But they didn't mention Manchester City. They didn't mention your team at one point. They didn't mention my team either. But what are your thoughts? Like, obviously, you're going to go to the Monaco 2-2 match. Eric Dyer's last minute penalty. That was, bro. Do you think it was a penalty for starters? Talk to me about Haaland. Give me your overview of the match and whether you think Man City can go all the way and win their second Champions League.
Yeah, I think Monaco 2-2 was a disappointing result for me. Very, very, very disappointing result. Like, there's no way Manchester City Football Club should be drawing to a team that's got 8 men out of that pitch with Monaco's team. Like, I'm not disrespecting Monaco, but we're Manchester City with the best, greatest coach that the world has ever seen. That's Pep Guardiola, fact. And to me, I look at that, and there's a lot of red flags. I'm unhappy this season. I used to sell a lot of copium to a lot of fan base and say this and that. It's the first time I'm crashing on anyone who's on my path to try and stop us to win anything major. And you know what? Haaland was amazing. Scored 2 goals. Had a chance to score a third one. But Vardio's poor decision and Ryan's poor decision did not let him through to make that pass for him. And to me, when I look at this here, Monaco, they have to change their sides. We need to change exactly. And to win the Champions League, first Arsenal. No, I don't rate Arsenal to win the Champions League. There's no way in football that Arsenal will win the Champions League. No chance. They can do whatever they want. That match, I don't trust that team. That team should not. I promise you now, we'll be having the same discussion. Arsenal will not win the Champions League. They can do whatever they can. That Champions League will not go to that Emirates Stadium. No way. Because they're not a team with players that have belief. These guys can't do it at the top level when the eyes is on. The pressure is on. We've seen them. Like, I've gone through the heartache of winning the Champions League, so I know what it takes to win the Champions League. I've lost to teams like Lyon, Monaco, Tottenham, whatever it is. So I know the formula to win the Champions League.
Liverpool.
The formula to win the Champions League. Listen, Liverpool got heritage. They've got that heritage. They know that they've got the heritage in Europe. You have to respect.
No, I'm saying that we're one of them teams that knocked you out as
Liverpool
well.
got the players. Yeah. But Liverpool, absolutely, Liverpool got the heritage. But one thing you need the Champions League, your defense needs to be impeccable. Yeah, your midfield has to be elite. I think with us getting Kusanov back, hopefully we're going to be linked to about getting a right back in January, because that's that area that we lack to get Yeah, we need to get a right back. We have to get a right back. It's a must. How can Manchester City have Matthias Nunes and Rico Lewis as a right back? It's criminal. It's criminal. Like, whoever made that decision should be arrested for that. Like, what the hell? Are we serious? Like, I have
You have
got
that
how
kid
many
O'Reilly as well.
teams? Yeah, how many teams would take Nico? No, forget Nico.
Remember the names you had, Professor? You had Aguero, you had Kevin De Bruyne, you had De Silva, you had
I look at my
Company,
team.
you had
I look at
Walker,
my team.
you had Gundogan. All these names.
You know what it is, Professor? Lad?
O'Reilly.
Professor,
Like,
you know what it is you said,
Blinders.
Professor? All that cheating catches up to you. 115 charges. We'll never forget that. There's a reason why you're gonna be in the slums for a while. Let the big boys compete for the big trophies. You're completely irrelevant at the moment. I've seen how much stick you've gave my club over the years, Professor. Me and you have followed each other on Twitter for a very, very long time. And I'm telling you right now, we're not gonna let you rest. We're not gonna let Manchester City rest. 115 charges. You've cheated your way to all these trophies, and now you can settle down and just watch his throw it against Monacos and, probably get beat by like a Bournemouth or something. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Let the big boys compete for it. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. I mean, not even Man City. Forget about that. That's not my thing.
I doubt. I think one thing that I'm so thrilled is we got Pep Guardiola. But the biggest mistake we made, and you guys know it, and I said it from before, I think even the greatest leaders, the greatest champions, their downfall is arrogance. Pep was arrogant enough. And I call my manager out for that. He was arrogant enough to believe when you won 4 in a row, you're arrogant enough to say you're the guy that made the team win everything. But you need great players. You can't get rid of KDB and not have a good replacement. You can't get rid of Alvarez. Alvarez walked into Pep Guardiola's office and asked to leave a week before the transfer deadline and was allowed to leave Manchester City with no replacement. How can that happen? How can Mahrez leave and we're being given Doku as a replacement? Doku's doing well. But the problem is he's not ready made then. You're making steps. You're making decisions which will cost you. It's multiple decisions like that. When Cole Palmer walks into our team and tells Pep Guardiola, I want to go on loan, but our Man City manager wants to get rid of him and tell you have to leave. You don't go out on loan. We want you out.
Do you know what it is?
See,
Professor?
What's killed us. Yeah.
Professor, honestly, there's a lot of things killing you at the moment, but I think it's just karma. 115 charges, you deserve it. One thing you did mention there, though, to be honest, you said something along the lines of you wanted Pep Guardiola out. Is that correct?
No, never.
No,
I think it happened to Fergie. I've said it before. Fergie went 3 years without winning league titles with Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney and all that stuff. Yeah, they were in the same team. They were smoked 3. They finished third, and second.
Yeah.
So if Fergie is able to finish third, and second, Pep Guardiola, we're allowed to have our 2 seasons off. We're not going to be like Fergie.
I mean, fair enough. You can't be going 2-3 years.
Can we talk about Monaco though quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bloody Eric Dyer taking penalties.
Winning the penalty as well.
It was like a bloody simulation. I seen this guy step up, take a penalty in the 90th minute. I says, "No, who I think it is." Oh, why did he move there? And when did he start taking penalties?
He's actually a good penalty taker.
Yeah, he scored that one in the Euros, did he?
Yeah, he's actually a very, very solid penalty taker.
Yeah, sure, he scored one.
He's even decent on the free kicks and whatnot. He's got a decent strike on him.
But that second goal from Haaland, when the ball gets lofted in, boys, and there's no pace on the ball, and then he just guards the ball to the bottom corner. Haaland is something different, you know. He should have probably scored a hat-trick as well.
Yeah, he had 4 touches. One was from kick-off, and 2 were goals, and one was just another one. I don't even know what the hell.
No, he had a shot that just where the keeper saved. Oh, bro, that second goal though. It's a hopeless ball into the box.
Where did he generate the power?
That's what I mean.
But Haaland is an otherworldly striker, man, and he genuinely is the best striker in the world. I don't know where this him not being the best striker in the world all of a sudden came from.
Sorry, I'm back.
Kane though, innit?
No, I think
still hard.
Kane is great, but I think there's a massive difference in the Premier League and the Bundesliga. And Haaland obviously done it in the Bundesliga. He's done it in the Champions League level. He's the guy. You just have to tip your hat off to him. He is phenomenal.
He's the greatest. I think he's the greatest striker of this generation.
That's crazy. 50 appearances.
By far, the greatest striker of this generation. By far.
I don't think you can argue it. To be honest, the rate that he's scoring at is just unbelievable.
10 games, 16 goals,
They're saying that this is his worst start in his Premier League history, but he's already on
8 goals in it.
8 goals.
10 games, 16 goals, 3 assists for club and
country. To be fair though, that's not a massive achievement to be the great striker of this generation, because there's probably only about 5 good ones.
No, but the thing is, you'll be in competition for one of the best strikers in the world when his career's done. If he continues.
Oh, he'll be one of the. He'll probably go down as probably one of the great strikers of all time.
And you know one thing, I'll give you a stat. He's already all-time Champions League goal scorer. He's overpassed Thierry Henry.
Yeah, he has.
He scored that too. And he's on level with Salah. He's about to say goodbye to Salah next. So,
really?
Yeah, Salah 53 goals, 52.
Champions League goals for a club.
Champions League goals, he is.
Bro, I honestly think by the time Haaland's done, he might go down as the best striker ever, outside the CR9s and whatnot. But just pure goal scorer, he might be the greatest striker ever.
Yeah,
just pure goal scoring ability.
Goals in all European history, you know. I think.
And if you look at the goal scorer who's been there, the only great players are like Mbappe is on 60, he's on 52 with Salah. He's gonna probably go past Mbappe, there's no doubt, because he's a goal scorer. And if you look at Shevchenko, he's already bypassed the likes of Del Piero, Inzaghi, Puskás. These are great players. These are great players. The names are there. All-time goal scorer in the Champions League. He's not. People used to say he's a tap-in. You don't need that guy.
What's mad though, the penalty goals, yeah.
You need that incomplete. Listen, the most important thing for a striker is what? Score goals. Score goals. I don't care about your link-up play. Get that ball in the box. Folks in the box are the best players.
Hey, listen. I'm fully backing that now. We don't care about none of that. All day long, bro. For goal scoring purely, not as a footballer.
What do you mean? Mbappe is injured. You can draft in one of these Champions League finals.
I'm taking Haaland.
You've got no striker. You have to pick Haaland and Mbappe right now.
I'm taking Haaland in a blink of an eye, bro. I've seen Mbappe at the Emirates. I've seen Mbappe at the Emirates in someone's left sock, bro. I'm not having that. Thanks.
You know what? This is a good segue. We get that up. This is a perfect segue because this leads us into Kairat Almaty, 0 Real Madrid 5, yet another Mbappe hat-trick. He has just said that if he could pick out of Haaland or Mbappe for the Champions League final tomorrow, he'll pick Haaland. But the rate that Mbappe scored at right now this season, yet another hat-trick against Kairat Almaty.
Against who, man? Come on, bro. You can't even say their name properly.
Bro, you gotta score against the team that's in front of you.
No, 100%. I'm 100% agree with that. But just a quick one, yeah. I remember at the beginning of the season hearing from every fan and their dog, Gyökeres only scores against Sunday League teams. Well, that is a Sunday League team as well.
At the end of the day, you've got a striker up front, yeah. That's running around with Tim's, brother. I'm telling you.
No, sir. Let's not do that. Your striker's better than our striker. Let's not go into that sort of battle, bro.
Brother, I'm telling you right now, this Mbappe, the way he's playing,
he's amazing. I'm not gonna say he's not. He's
like link up, dribbles, pass plays, can score a goal out of nothing. Bro, he's been the best player in the world comfortably all season, bro.
Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Mbappe. I think he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal. But if you want to have a team where you just need goals, then you cannot get better than Haaland. The statistics speak for themselves over the last how many years?
You know. I think. I see some stats somewhere like where Mbappe was at PSG. I think every single season he scored over 40 goals. Like,
I'm pretty sure one of us can score 40 goals in a PSG team in France.
But then at the end of the day, Haaland is purely a goal scorer, right?
No, but I know I'm not.
Completely embarrass you.
Listen, bro.
But
For
you know
me,
what,
between
Haaland is more of a team player. Mbappe is not a team player like Haaland. Mbappe wants the ball played for him. He wants to be the main guy. Haaland, you can put him in a team of great players. He will score you. You can put him with Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and all these Messi guys. He'll score 50 goals. Mbappe will struggle. He struggled with the likes of Neymar and Messi. He struggles to play within a team. He has to be the main guy. Even
then
Real Madrid
the point,
last season, he struggled with Vinicius, Bellingham.
Bro,
they struggled a lot.
But scored 44 goals and was Real Madrid's all-time, opening season. He scored the most goals in Real Madrid history, but he struggled.
But
fair enough.
He hinted
Listen, man.
Real Madrid to win major trophies. He was the reason why Real Madrid is to win major trophies. He's gone to Real Madrid and they've not won. He was at PSG. They didn't win the Champions League.
Okay, so I've got a question. I've got a question for everyone in here.
The players are playing like a team.
Okay, but I've got a question for you. I've got a question for you, yeah. And when Florentino Perez initially came into Real Madrid and signed Ronaldo, Kaká, Benzema, Xabi Alonso, and whatnot, would you say Ronaldo struggled? We went out in the last 16 to Lyon, lost the league with 96 points to Barcelona, and didn't win any trophy. So was Ronaldo failing in his opening season?
Now everything was gone until my boy came, bro. Gareth.
Oh, come on.
He did not win a Champions League before Gareth Bale.
No, he didn't, bro. He not for Real Madrid.
No, I know what I'm saying though. So when Ronaldo was there, he never won a Champions League until Bale came, and that's when they went on the run.
Bale was the catalyst for La Decima.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Bale was unbelievable. I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't, but
he gets disrespected in Spain.
But I wouldn't say he's top. Like out of that team, there's like at least 3 or 4 players more important than him.
Di Maria.
Even that season, Di Maria was. I'd say Bale was probably slightly better, but like I'm talking. Like if you look at the season as a whole, Di Maria was more important.
Let's not go back. Let's not go back. Let's take Let's talk about Real Madrid right now. So we're talking about Mbappe. Can he lead Real Madrid to the Champions League? This is what we want to know from you, Stano.
110%. Like he can lead us to a Champions League. I think Real Madrid's biggest issue this season. It's not realistically that front line. I just think Real Madrid misses someone in the middle of the park to dictate. Because I'll be honest, I don't think Valverde started the season the best. He's even come out himself.
I've seen it online, bro. He's saying that he's down tools. He didn't want to be involved in that game against FC Cari. He came out and said, "No, that's not the case." What's going on with him?
But I just think when I look at Valverde, like compared to the way he's playing last season, and he doesn't look the same. He hasn't started the season off well, but then we've had Goulet, who's come in and been brilliant. I just think Real Madrid are missing someone that could just keep the game ticking over, and it goes to show when we played even someone like a Dani Ceballos, he hasn't got half the ability of none of these other guys. But when he did play against Levante, we were unbelievable. We scored 4 and could have scored 6 or 7.
We got a comment here from Anas, and it says, Madrid can't come far. But he's also asking. Madrid needed Manu to win the treble.
A monk from Tobruk.
He said Madrid needed Manu to win the treble. Is that what you need, that sort of profile of player to win like the Champions League, etc.?
I think obviously if you're someone like a Kylian Mbappe, you're gonna want to win the league, Champions League, try and win every single trophy, but that's not realistic. Real Madrid have never won a treble in the Champions League era. You know what I mean? Yes. So to put that kind of pressure on him is unfair, but I would want at least a double this year, whether it's Champions League, Copa del Rey, Champions League, or in League. Like we have to try and go out there and win the double.
You have to try and get the league back really from Barcelona.
Yeah, of course. And I just think we're going to be more consistent than Barcelona. I think the big games, of course, are the ones that bring all the glitz and glamour. But I think those random Wednesdays to Levante, I think we're gonna win.
Do you know what?
We're going to be more consistent than them. I think we've got our squad, especially this season, I think it's just a lot wider than Barcelona.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Thanks for that. And it's great to get some input from the Madrid fan from Canny Farm.
They don't call it Canny Farm anymore. They call it Stockbridge Village.
Hey, tell them, man. You don't know it's been gentrified.
Hey, Yaz is feeling a little bit left out here. He loves those Scousers, but he doesn't understand. Canny Farm's an area in Liverpool. I'll educate you next time.
Listen, bro, you don't need to tell me about them deprived places, man.
I want you to talk about the only team with Champions Leagues in London. They got you there, like mistakes.
It's all good, man.
That one.
Everyone had no Champions League until they had the Champions League, so it's all good, bro.
Well, listen, we're moving over to Chelsea, the team with 2 Champions Leagues, the only team with 2 Champions Leagues in London, the only team with Champions Leagues in London. But I've wrote down yet another red card. I think that's 3 red cards in a row, something ridiculous like that. What on earth is going on, bro? You should got the result for what chatting.
It's starting for the red card. It was a second yellow. Obviously, if you put the Champions League, if you put your foot that high in someone's head, it's it's going to be a second yellow. But the game itself, I thought Chelsea were actually quite in control for a large majority of the game, which I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be a game of just trying and get through by any means, try and get through. But we were actually in control for large parts of the game. Neto was good. Badly Shield came in centre back. Obviously, Chelsea are scarce with centre back at the moment with the injuries and the suspensions. And I thought Badly Shield was really good. Neto, good cameo from Estevao came on. Garnacho started and he was, okay. He got the obviously assist for the goal, and I think Chelsea just went about their business quietly this game week in the Champions League, which is the best way to go if for Chelsea, especially after the recent performances they've had. So, yeah, they just went about their business, 1-0 victory, and, the real test is on the weekend, and we'll have to see if Chelsea can, put a real big performance in against a big team, which they haven't yet so far in the Premier League.
We just need a draw.
I mean, to be honest, bro, you're probably praying for a draw or a loss for us. To be honest, bro, you lost your first game against Bayern Munich, but then you went on
Munich, yeah,
and you got your 3 points against Benfica. Maybe it's not the most glamorous result or the glamorous performance, but at the moment, it doesn't really matter. You need to
get the job done. You just got the job done. I told you that a couple of days ago. Like, it's just all about getting the points. If you don't get 3 points against Benfica at home, I don't know where you're gonna get your points from. You know what I mean? It's one of them where you just got to get through it. Like Arsenal, they won 2-0, but it was I would say 1-0 sounds a bit more cagey, but you're always going to win that. Arsenal were always going to win that game against Olympiacos. You were always going to win that game against Benfica. Real Madrid were always going to win that game against FC Geirat.
I agree. It was a game of just getting through, and we actually did. After the first game against Bayern Munich, I think that was just a quality team that was going to punish any sort of errors Chelsea made. I think against Benfica, you couldn't afford to make an error there, and they had a couple of chances, but Chelsea were in control for a large majority of the game. And they just sort of, when they scored, sort of just controlled the game, and on to the next. I think it's Ajax.
Jose being back at the bridge.
Jose being back, you know what? He got an actual great reception. I think because he hasn't been back for a while. Obviously, people are forgetting that he managed Tottenham and United and was at the dugout many a times at Stamford Bridge. But I don't really care, to be honest. I think he's still Chelsea's best ever manager. Probably one of the best manager in the world. So, but then I felt like he got a lot of love this game week because he hasn't been back to Stamford Bridge for a while, which was nice.
It's like a little pity because he's not the manager that he once was. He's at Benfica, and it's like,
And I know we've probably crammed the Chelsea section towards the end, but we're trying to fit this in within an hour.
That's
too much that happened with the Chelsea match. You got your results. I love a red card. It is what it is. 33 points. Happy days. I want to move on now quickly to predictions. So, as I told you before the show and at the beginning of the show, I'm going to ask everyone who they think will make it to the Champions League final and who they think will win the Champions League at the end. We're going to come back at the end of the season, the same amount, us 5. We're going to sit down and we're going to analyze what our predictions are. Okay, so what you say right now, I've gave you an hour to think about it. Make sure what you're saying is bulletproof because we are going to analyze this in May. All right, boys. So I want your predictions. Champions League final in Budapest, May 2020, in May 2026, and also who you think's going to win it. I'm going to start with Yusuf.
Bomba Klaar, was going to be 4th. you know what it is? Yeah, I've got a sneaky feeling that like Arsenal will have a good run. I think Chelsea get to like. I think Chelsea get to quarterfinals, and when the big teams are around, I just don't think they have enough. But I really do back us. I think we're going to
win. On TalkSport 2 right now, Nottingham Forest bringing European football back to the city.
Well, it looks like Nottingham Forest are bringing European football back to the City ground.
Sorry.
You also said that Liverpool are going to be the winners, but who do you think?
You know what it is though as well?
You got to base it off something, Yossi. You can't.
No, I'll tell you what I love to say
Chelsea. I'd love to sit here and say Chelsea.
No, I'll tell you what. You can't say Chelsea though because we all know.
What have you seen to say Liverpool though? What have you seen?
Here's my thought process. Yeah.
You played Galatasaray. What happened? Tell me why.
Let me get my thought process. Your PSG were about to get knocked out by Manchester City and the 2-0 down at half time and finished 20th in the league phase, and they went on to win the Champions League. Are we really going to judge anything on what performance has been happening in the last couple of games? Not really. Do you know what I mean? I think that I believe in my manager. I think he's really a top world class manager, and I think that he's going to get this team pairing towards the end of the season. That's my honest opinion. Right now, it's not clicking, but they're too good for it not to click. It's going to happen. We're going to get a purple patch. A couple of years ago, I always thought that we could win the league last season, yeah. But I got swayed by this Arsenal hysteria. Oh, it's Arteta's time, whatever. And I completely overlooked my team. Do you get me? But when I've looked at the team and I've looked at the quality, bro, we're more primed to win the Champions League than I think to do back-to-back league titles. Because name me how many teams have done back-to-back league titles in United, Chelsea,
City.
That's it, isn't it?
I don't even think Arsenal done back-to-back league titles. It's hard to win the league back-to-back.
That's what I want most. But who do you think we're going to...
And Annie even said that he'd rather win the Champions League than this. I think he's really focusing on the Champions League, bro.
Who do you think we're going to meet in the Champions League final then? You said Liverpool win it, but who do you think we're going to play against?
I think it has to be, if we don't meet them already, it's going to be PSG.
PSG, okay. I'm writing this down. So Yusuf's got Liverpool as the winners, and we're playing PSG in the final.
Get back there.
I want to hear yours.
I'm going for the team we played against, so I'm going for the team that impressed me. I thought, that's the proper Champions League team, and they played well against us. We weren't great, but I think Bayern Munich go to the final.
Okay.
And they go to the final against, I think, teams that have just got firepower going forward usually go and win the Champions League. Even that PSG, Barcelona game, both teams can see there's a lot of chances. There's a lot of, you can get at both teams. But I think if Real Madrid go to the final against Bayern Munich, Real Madrid beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League.
Real Madrid beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Fair enough. We'll go to the Real Madrid fan from Canny Farm. What do you reckon on that one? What's your prediction?
This, I think it's going to be. I think Madrid are going to win it. I think the finalist is going to be. It's a bit of a tough one. I think. I can see Arsenal getting there weirdly in the off and just lose. The team.
They do have a history of losing. So
I actually think they'll get to the semi-final. Though I think there'll be a really good run, but I just don't think you got the minerals just to go.
I think Chelsea can go further than Arsenal, though. I genuinely.
You just disrespect Arsenal here. Let's be honest, bro.
Come on, let's not take the mickey.
Arsenal will finish above Chelsea in the Premier League. But I'm just saying,
bro, they're so solid defensively, so hard to score.
I think they're primed to win the league. I think they're going to win the Champions League. I do think they
know what it is, yeah. I get it. Like Arsenal, they can get to the final, but do they have the minerals to cross the line?
That's what history tells us they don't.
That's nonsense, man.
We've got an absolute hard.
Who were PSG before last season?
We got the most. I'll say probably the most diehard Arsenal fan that I know right here. So we'll ask him directly. Do Arsenal have the minerals to cross the line? And who do you think is going to win the Champions League? And who's going to be in the Champions League final?
100% we have the minerals to win the Champions League. At least let's not forget how this is not a dig again, but let's not forget what we've done to Real Madrid with Mikel Merino up front. Let's not forget how close we ran PSG with Mikel Merino up front. No, but it is what it is. You want to talk about minerals and then you want to not listen to what I'm saying.
There was a lot of injuries around. Let's remember that.
That's fine though. But listen. A 10% fit because listen. Anyhow, I'm gonna say that PSG are going to get back to the Champions League final, and unless obviously we see each other before then, which is a potentiality, I reckon we'll get to the final with PSG, and this time I think we get them.
Wow, so you're saying Arsenal win the Champions League, come May.
Can I say something though? Genuinely, I could not care less about the Champions League as long as we win the Premier League. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah,
so you'd rather have the.
I agree with that.
I couldn't care less about the Champions League, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
But a team that's never won it.
But for me,
the only fan bases that say that, when it's like Liverpool, when they hadn't won it for 30 years, Arsenal now you haven't won it for over 20 years. Like, bro, the Champions League is the creme de la creme. It's like the be-all.
I disagree, man. I mean, yes, actually, no. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. No, it is the creme de la creme. But for me, for Arsenal having not tasted Premier League glory for so long, I've never won a Champions League before. I don't know what it feels like. Therefore, I don't know what I'm craving. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm craving that Champions League feeling again. The Premier League, I beg your pardon.
Premier League. I think they're built to win the Premier League as well. I think their squad is built to win.
I think our firepower isn't probably. If I'm 100% honest, we haven't got enough firepower that's gonna sort of shoot as many goals as it needs to blast its way to the Champions League. But for league football, I think we're gonna win this league. I want to say I can't say that's an absolute lie. We're gonna win this Premier League, and it's gonna be a very close run thing. But I think we're gonna do it. Champions League, I think we have the capability. There's no denying it. Yeah. Whether we have the clinical edge, because what I saw against Olympiacos yesterday, if we do that in a Champions League big boy away game, we're fucked. Excuse my friend.
Okay, I've got one question for you as an Arsenal fan. Yeah. I think, like, if I'm being completely honest, I think PSG are the favourites.
I do too.
But that's just being honest, yeah. But I think Arsenal are the best built team to beat PSG.
I also agree with that.
I think Real Madrid, we can beat PSG. Who else?
I think Liverpool can beat them too on any given day.
I think Arsenal are the best built team to beat PSG.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I would tend to agree with that. I would agree with that because of last season's. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, go on.
Say again?
Go on, yes.
Yeah, I would say just going on. I mean, Chelsea obviously stuffed them in the Club World Cup, but I don't know that. I don't know if that PSG were that serious. Yeah, I think last season's game, and as an Arsenal fan, gives me a lot of confidence if we see them again, because look, our team was very depleted going there, and had it not been for, and football is a game of moments and what ifs and all that sort of stuff, but a few world-class saves from Donnarumma, and the game could have been very different had those world-class saves not been made. But that's what Donnarumma is there for, so obviously I know that. But it was a fine margin game where they were very, very clinical, and we just weren't, and we didn't create many chances, to be fair.
I think they beat you convincingly. I think people try and rewrite history about that performance.
So in the first game, they scored a very nice goal. Trossard had a chance, should have scored. Martinelli had a chance, should have scored. If they were, in a different moment, potentially that could have gone in. The game against PSG in the second leg, they got us in moments again. The first half, maybe first 25 minutes, we absolutely peppered their goal, and it just wouldn't go in. And in football, those are the sort of moments that change games. If a goal goes in those moments, potentially it could be different, or they may go and beat us anyway. Who knows?
Aston Villa could say the same thing. No, Aston Villa.
No, 100%. I agree. Aston Villa could say the same thing.
In the face.
Liverpool only lost in
1-0. We get to Anfield, then Salah has that chance where he's hit the post from like 7 yards out.
Hit the post twice.
What?
Yeah, but you could have been 7-0 down in the first half. To be fair, though, in the first leg, sorry.
Yeah. No, you.
What's your prediction?
I was going to
Helmo's
say,
prediction.
yeah. So my prediction, Stano's gone. We need to wrap up soon, and I was just going to leave this comment here. It says Arsenal will lose in the final or call it progression. I think that's. I can already hear Yaz. Let there be a message.
No. Listen, let me quickly respond to this. Let me quickly respond to this comment. Then you could go. Losing to the final is not progression. Getting to the final is all well and good, but if you get there, you have to win it. So I'm sorry, bro.
We already know what the Arteta sexuals are going to say. They're going to be like, "Oh my God, we got to a final. That's progression from last season." Carry on. But anyway, from my perspective, so I wrote down everyone else's for mine, so you can all hear it live. I've already got my ticket booked to Budapest. I've got my hotel and flight sorted. I'm gonna see Liverpool lift number 7 just behind me right there. Do you see that number 6? In L4.
I'm pretty sure I heard the same thing last season, you know.
No. Let me tell you something. That number 6 is going to change to a number 7 come May.
Cool.
We'll have 7 Champions Leagues, European Cups, the biggest team in England, and I think the final we're going to be playing against. Genuinely, I think it's going to be an all-English final against Arsenal, and that's why I've left this comment on the screen from AJ saying Arsenal will lose in the final to Liverpool and call it progression because we are champions of Europe, European royalty. Do you know what I mean? So, lads, I think we're going to finish off.
Great show, wallah.
I've wrote down everybody's predictions right here on my notes. In May, we're going to run a stream again, us 5, including Stano, who's not here with us at the moment, and we're going to analyze everything. We've got the receipts, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But before we close, because we've gone over by 10 minutes, I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. Everyone in the chat, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Made in Talk Stuff. That's the least you can do for us. It's a new YouTube channel. We're trying to, build up a little bit of content, bring you regular content, entertainment content, things that you can listen to on the way to work, on the way back from work. Do you know what I mean? Whilst you're playing FIFA like me, sometimes I'm playing FIFA and I'm just listening to a podcast. Why not tune into Made in Talk Stuff? Every Sunday we record a podcast. Yusuf, you can confirm that this Sunday we're going to be recording a podcast as well. Is that right?
Inside Sunday, always released on Monday. So by the time you wake up, inshallah, in the morning, there'll be an hour pod there ready for you to listen to on your drive to work or whatever.
Beautiful stuff. So this recording will be live on our YouTube. So if nobody's watched it, please go back, watch it, and like the video. There will be a live podcast recording that will be released, as Yusuf said, on Monday. I want to shout out Yaz, and I want to shout out Sports Uncensored, his channel. Do you want to give us a little bit of a overview on Sports Uncensored and when we can next expect the video from Sports Uncensored?
Yeah, so the overviews is pretty much similar to what you guys do. And first and foremost, big up you guys, mashallah, you're doing good, big things, more success in the future, inshallah. But yeah, for us, we're just a sort of group of friends. We just chop it up in the studio about football. We have, obviously conflicting opinions because we're from representing different teams. In the future, eventually, we're going to sort of branch out to potentially boxing events and UFC and all that stuff. But at the moment, it's just football. We record every Friday, and the content filters out through the week. So look out for maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday, new content.
Yeah, mashallah. Wallah, you guys are absolutely smashing it. I've watched a lot of your videos. I think I've watched all your videos. And honestly, I like the harmony, the chemistry, and all the lads that are on there have got really good football knowledge. But you need to stop with your Liverpool hatred, honestly. I need to come on that show and defend my club. You do too much.
Come on, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Usually, my beef with Liverpool fans are the London Reds.
Yeah,
and then you started your nonsense. And now I've got a Liverpool fan I've got beef with from Liverpool.
You know what? Yeah, I think a good idea would be one day, inshallah. Maybe we do like an end of season quiz where it'll be Cutz Inside versus Sports Uncensored. But we could
100%.
We could definitely discuss that, and we can stream it on both channels. It'll be really fun. When are you next going to be on the stream, bro? We're waiting for you to
potentially on Sunday. After Chelsea
Sunday, man.
Get points off Liverpool, and the real crisis starts in Merseyside, man.
We will be the
real crisis.
Allah, I think if we lose, it could be like a mini crisis.
It's crisis, trust me.
But on that note, boys.
Yeah, on that note, boys, Yusuf, Yaz, Arms, and Stano, and obviously the Professor as well, and everyone in the chat, thank you so much. This is the first of many. We're going to be doing streams every other week, Champions League, and hopefully branch out into Prem. Thanks a lot for joining, and we'll speak soon.
Take care, boys.
Peace.